everybody. Welcome back to the Garden State Film Festival 2025. My name is Ming Chen.
CJ Cullen.
We're broadcasting live from the Shared Near Earth Podcast Lounge at the Berkeley Oceanfront Hotel.
Yeah.
Films have taken over Asbury Park all weekend, taken over Cranford, taken all over New Jersey.
Is Cranford today too?
No, not today.
That
was yesterday. But Cranford Theater, Doreen.
The popcorn.
Don't forget the popcorn. Always a huge part of the Garden State Film Festival. So we've been interviewing filmmakers all week. Well, we have a very special guest, Gannon Murphy, honorary chair of the Garden State Film Festival this year. You're also involved in the studio.
Yep.
You're and big supporter of film. Could you please introduce yourself, my friend?
Absolutely.
Well, first right up to your mouth. There you go.
Where's the popcorn? I don't see the.
I know.
Popcorn
you
gotta go to Cranford for that one.
All right. How far away is Cranford?
About 45 minutes. So yeah.
They should have brought a whole machine down.
Yeah. Oh, Doreen will be at the awards dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Doreen, can you bring up?
Bring
some popcorn.
Can you bring Gannon and I had some popcorn.
Salted butter, no problem. No, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Gannon Murphy, Cinelli Studios. Really appreciate you guys having me here today. This afternoon. Yeah, so as you mentioned, we've been the company's been supporting the festival for 3 years in a row. I was super appreciative that I was asked to be the honorary chair this year. Not 100% sure why I deserve such an honor, but I've been having a great time. My wife came up this weekend. We've really been enjoying the community. We had a great panel yesterday morning. I'm not sure how many were there at the restaurant yesterday morning, but it looked like 100 people or so, and we got to talk to the creative community about filmmaking in Jersey and sort of where it's headed. So it was really exciting.
Where is filmmaking in Jersey headed?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say what the story that I like to tell, people often reference, that this is the home of filmmaking, right? I'm sure you guys have heard that, and it's been discussed.
It is 1903, the Great Train Robbery.
Thank you very much, right?
And then Richard Hollingshead with the invention of the drive-in movie theater also here in Jersey. So
Fort Lee, I mean.
A lot of history here in filmmaking.
So I actually didn't know most of that, and a little bit academically maybe when I was in college years ago, but when I came back up here and we were opening up a property in Caven Point, New Jersey, I did a little bit more research and found out that not only was Thomas Edison the last purpose-built studio before we built ours, but even more interesting, before preceding Thomas Edison was Alice Guy Boucher, right? An amazing story of a French American French entrepreneur and filmmaker, businesswoman who had a successful career in the Northeastern Jersey, specifically making movies. So we actually painted a mural in front of our studio that sort of tells the history of cinema in Jersey, right? Starting with Alice Guy Boucher into Thomas Edison and sort of so on and so forth to us. And the reason I say all that is I think that there's clearly a ton of rich soil in Jersey for filmmaking. What I think is super exciting as somebody who runs a business that's just spread across the country is that New Jersey's long been a location for filmmaking in the past decades, but now it's a home for filmmaking. Not to say that it wasn't for the creatives and the independents, but now for even the larger budgets, because of the infrastructure, it's become a home for filmmaking, which makes me really excited.
That's amazing. And how'd you become involved with the Garden State Film Festival 3 years ago? How'd you guys get connected?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I don't know with authority, but I would say it always comes back to Diane Raver. Right?
Oh yeah, all
say
circles,
no more.
Say no more.
Concentric circles end up.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why everybody else is here.
Right.
And Diane is a catalyst.
Yes.
An instigator,
a force among. Right? So I actually I don't live in New Jersey. I do get to visit quite often because of the property we have up here. One of my team is named Dan Basso. He works at the studio. He runs the studio for me, and he became good friends with Diane. He's been helping support with the Film Academy, and he's got a lot of great philanthropic work in the city and the state. And so at some point got introduced, and it was actually the workforce piece around the Film Academy that we first started talking. And I thought, anything we can do to help with that, we're super.
So how does one go about going to your studio and getting some studio time?
Sure. Yeah. No, great question. I mean, so I'd say traditionally for a long time, the physical infrastructure studio business was just kind of a black box. Sort of rent the box, and the filmmaker sort of does what they need, and it was typically reserved, I'd say, kind of in other states for larger budget productions. But I think what's cool in New Jersey is that we're seeing the intersection of the independent creative community and those larger budget films and television shows that are coming into the state. And so, to your question about the studio itself now, Dan, who runs the studio for us, and myself and the team really try to make it more than just a black box experience. We try to bring the filmmakers in and sort of I think any filmmaker might agree with this if they were sitting here. The goal is to put more money on the screen, right? Not to spend it on this ancillary service or the or the popcorn, for example, but to put more money in storytelling.
Yep,
right?
yeah.
So we try to help with
see
that
it on the
exactly.
screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And did you say you're in Jersey, or not Jersey? You're in Atlanta. You're in
so
I think the Ponce Highland
I
neighborhood.
weirdly. I don't know how we know that. Maybe we should tell a story about how we figured out where I live.
That's a great story. So I have a Pelican case down here, and
what does that say on the side there?
There's a sticker for the world famous Claremont Lounge.
Claremont Lounge.
Yeah.
The epicenter, the center of the universe in Atlanta.
It's so storied. I'm actually an Atlanta native who moved away when I was 17. I lived outside of the Southeast for over 20 years. I lived on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I lived in Asia. I lived in Europe, and then came back. And the thing about the Claremont Lounge is that it hasn't changed since I was a kid.
No, I was going to say
at all.
Same jukebox. I heard the jukebox was stolen.
I think the same music. I think a lot of the same, let's call it performers.
Still there. They started there 50 years ago. They're still there. Their kids are with them. For sure.
So
I'm kind of the unofficial mayor there.
Excellent.
I've made friends with the two female owners, and they just let me in for free now.
No, it's definitely an institution.
I introduced him. Now we all meet over
It's
there.
interesting.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, we're right. My wife and I are right down the street. So if you want to come by. Yeah.
But they fixed up the hotel and then the
hotel is
rooftop,
very
right?
nice these days. Very boutiquey. They charge like 8 times the rent. And, so there you go.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the one rule of the Claremont Lounge is as crazy as it is no cameras.
No cameras.
Oh.
No cameras. So very little production has gone down there. I know everyone probably wants to make a film down there, shoot some scenes.
Yeah.
The only scene that I can remember was James Gunn's Suicide Squad shot there. They gave them permission.
Okay.
But they're very little, because they want to kind of preserve the. If you want to see it,
sure,
you got to go there. Yeah,
right.
But the Claremont Hotel, I would love to shoot something there one day.
Yeah.
But speaking of Atlanta, a hotbed of filmmaking,
All the
tons
Walking
of studios
Dead,
over there.
Tyler Perry.
Yeah. Is there a possibility that Jersey could become as big as a studio setting and filmmaking hotbed as Atlanta is?
Yeah, I think yes and no. Probably yes in the positive ways that I think Jersey has a lot to offer in terms of learning maybe from some of the, I don't want to call them mistakes, but some of the things that when there's any kind of rapid development in any industry, there can be overbuilding or sort of oversaturation. And I think that Jersey in particular sort of has this amazing history that we spoke of earlier, right? And then just across the Hudson, right? New York's not going anywhere. So you have a ton of talent that live there, a ton of creative, a ton of, corporate money that has housed out of there. And then the state of New Jersey has this advantage of the people, right? The labor, the stories that are here, but access to that sort of New York side, and then access to sort of the story of what occurred in Georgia. And I think that New Jersey could probably develop in a more call it methodical or mature fashion, right? In a good way, and I mean that to say there is definitely infrastructure here in the state, and it's arriving. But what you don't want to see is that oversaturation.
Yeah.
So one thing that's really exciting that I'd like to kind of mention to you guys is on May 1st is going to be the first of what I hope is many annual New Jersey Film Expo in the Meadowlands.
Oh.
So I'm the president of the Screen Alliance in New Jersey. It's a trade association here in the state. And we were approached by John Crowley, the film commissioner, to help put together an expo. And so Sanj, along with NJEDA and along with the film office, are putting together this expo on May 1st, which is open to the public.
Yeah.
Right? Registration's free. And the idea is, and this kind of gets back to what we were talking about earlier, but the idea is really to show off all of the amazing, not just companies, not just equipment, but people, filmmakers, and available resources that are had in one place, right, in the state. So we're really excited about that. Yeah.
That's amazing. You got involved. You said you got involved 3 years ago. Have you been coming to the film festival ever since, or is this maybe your first full weekend here?
First full weekend of the film festival.
Okay, what do you think so far?
Yeah, no, like I said, I brought my wife up, so we're staying in a beautiful hotel just down the road. This hotel is really cool. Looks a ton of history here.
Do you know about
the Man in Black?
Yeah, do you know about the Johnny Cash connection?
No, tell me everything.
Johnny Cash used to be a co-owner of this hotel at Berkeley. Him and June Carter loved
Used to vacation here, right?
Yeah, him and June Carter loved Asbury Park.
Got it.
There are multiple pictures of it here. That not really well publicized outside of here, though.
No.
Like, you don't go out there and it's like, oh, Asbury Park, Johnny Cash used to hang out there. Nobody really knew. I think he kept it kind of quiet. But the Man in Black, his spirit lives on here.
Own a hotel for.
Yeah, there's a Johnny and June Carter Cash suite. I think on the top floor.
Cool.
He's got a room over there. It's the Johnny Cash room.
Okay, nice. Yeah, no, we were wandering around the boardwalk yesterday. The weather was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yesterday, yeah.
Crazy nice. So we went up and down the boardwalk, and we were. I think the historic buildings here. I always love kind of anything sort of industrial, red brick, kind of older, and then seeing the adaptive reuse. That always gets me excited. So wandering around looking at that yesterday, and then had some really good meals here. The food has been amazing. So it's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah, it's a great spot for a film festival.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're both local, but we look forward to this weekend every year. Just to meet all the filmmakers, all the creators
for
down
sure.
here, all the film supporters.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're staying all weekend. And you'll be here for the awards.
Yeah, looking forward to tonight.
For sure,
looking forward to getting all gussied up, and doing it tonight. And at the red carpet on Friday, I met some friends, that I already knew, or some people that worked in some of the companies that I know from the state. But I also met a ton of people that just kind of happened to run into. I met this really interesting filmmaker who also works in senior housing.
Yeah.
And their company actually has an office in Atlanta. So like suddenly within 10 minutes,
wow,
it's like,
you're meeting your neighbors.
That's
it's
great.
amazing. It's like, okay, wait. So because I'm involved in the Alzheimer's Association in Georgia, so that linked to the senior housing. Plus, I have resources that could help them making films in Atlanta, both at our studio and then the Atlanta Film Festival. And then they got back to, well, let's do something more exciting next year, the Garden State Film Festival. So it just all became this really, and I think that's what's really cool about these kind of things. You just sort of get to talking, and you realize there's a lot in common and a lot of things to do, right? So,
yeah, for sure. And I mean, we love the networking here.
Yeah.
We meet a lot of people. The next year, it's like, oh, you guys are working together? And I was like, oh,
right.
wait, we met here last year. We made a short, and I needed a composer or a DP. Met them here at the film fest.
Yeah.
And I love that's kind of the heart of all film festivals is. You watch the films, but you meet all the filmmakers, and everyone gets to meet each other, and they've all been through the same struggles and battles.
Definitely.
And you can make a lot of friends here and possibly collaborate for sure.
Yeah.
How far is the studio from here?
Don't know that I've ever Googled Jersey City from here. You guys will probably be able to.
Oh, you've been to Jersey City,
Jersey
right?
City is my second home. I love Jersey City.
An hour from the airport, right? From whatever.
They were good 45 to an hour.
Like an hour 15. That sound right?
Jersey City?
Jersey City?
I usually make it there 45.
Hey, you can drive fast.
I used to teach there, so
all right, Leadfoot.
Right.
Wow.
So it's Caven Point,
Middletown's
which is
a little closer.
in an industrial area that's done a lot of remediation, and so our studio. You can see as you come on the turnpike, actually, or even if you fly into Newark. It's pretty easy to see. It's kind of an ochre orange color.
Yeah.
It's 60 foot tall in all the surrounding areas, pretty much either flat or like single story.
Yeah.
And then it's got a giant Cinelli Studios logo on the side, so that makes it kind of obvious too. But it's really cool because it's the first, like I said, it's the first purpose built since Thomas Edison, and it's the first real developed studio in that whole area that's attracted. I mean, we've done Netflix productions, we've done FX, we've done a lot of really big shows as well. But we've also been doing some smaller. We did some independents with Sean Penn was there with an independent not too long ago.
It was the one in the car, the driving in the car one. Yeah.
So we do. It's kind of a mixed bag. So it's pretty exciting. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what's the future for the studio? Get booked out as much as possible, obviously. Sure. But I don't know if there's room for expansion or just.
Yeah, no.
What about like class trips? I teach high school film, so it was like something if you have something
it's funny
like that.
too. They just broke ground adjacent. There's a school that's being built right next to the property.
Wow.
So we'll probably having a lot of school trips ourselves. But I mentioned earlier Dan's super supportive of the Film Academy, and he's on the board for a local technical college for their filmmaking program. Yeah. And I say that to say, so what's the future? Well, there's two things. One is, of course, like you said, getting business, and then we'll talk about the development. But another thing, to your point, is we do want to get as many young New Jersey residents in as possible to see, right? Because typically you wouldn't have that access maybe at that age of like high school or even college to see what large scale professional filmmaking looks like. It doesn't mean that's what it has to be, right? Like new media, everything's changing,
right?
So it doesn't mean it's going to be that way, but I think being able to see the sort of tableau of the way it's done on that scale, and then the takeaway could be, I don't know, I'll do that whole thing with my phone, or I have a different idea. It doesn't matter, but just to see the kind of different styles that normally, it's been kind of a walled garden. You wouldn't be able to get that kind of access. So we're super encouraging to bring students in to do tours. And then as far as development goes, there's land adjacent to the property that we're looking at, and then not too far, maybe like at a mile and a half away, we've got entitlements. We've gone through the city. We've got all of our permitting done to build another similar size studio that we would link together to be a campus. So the idea would just be to start building like a little ecosystem in the neighborhood. Yeah,
there's a lot of cool on location places to film in Jersey City, but you need a place to go to.
Gotta have a home,
Yep,
right? That's what I was saying. You gotta have a home because they need, you know.
Even parking your trucks and everything,
well, exactly.
right?
It's got to be basic. One way to look at it is that it's, you know, this part of production, not the pre-production or the post-production, but the production where the work is getting done. They need that infrastructure for parking. They need the offices. They need the stages. They need the resources. I think the next level will be, and that's probably what a lot of people that are here at the festival are thinking about, is we need to develop in the state. We need to develop that pre-production side. We need to open up writers' rooms.
Yeah.
Right? That's when it starts to get really exciting, you know, when you kind of have all three of those cylinders clicking at the same time.
I like going on the tours out in L.A. I go out there everywhere and driving by, like, oh, there's Spielberg's office. There's this guy's office. There's this guy. And you're kind of looking like, oh, they're not there, but there's their office.
Yeah,
there's
their bungalows. Yeah, they're in their creating.
Ryan Lynch has an office on the lot, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I think, you know, that's kind of where the state most likely is heading, is more and more the creatives get a chance to kind of, you know, ferment the work like from the ground up here. Yeah. So that's going to be really exciting, I think.
Yeah, that's amazing. The future of film in Jersey is strong.
It is,
and thanks to guys like you are getting even stronger.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks for that.
Before we go, we got to ask about the LA Dodgers hat. You said you live in Atlanta. So, how did that come about?
Yeah, sure. Great story. Actually, this is a telling story. My father, he didn't disown me, but he wasn't very happy with me either. So, you know, I'm a diehard baseball fan.
Yeah, so are we.
So grew up
big baseball.
We had to ask about
going
it.
to ball games ever since I was a kid. You know, both my parents, hardcore Braves fans. Dad was even a Braves fan when they were in Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yep.
So I just grew up around the sport. Now, when I moved to LA, when I was 17, you know, I never assumed I'd be back in Atlanta, right? And so I'm still baseball. It was hard to watch East Coast games. Started going to Dodgers games.
Yeah.
What really flipped the switch at that age was Vin Scully, right? The greatest broadcaster of all time. Didn't just tell you what's going on the field, but told you a story. Made you feel like you were sitting like this, you know, in a den, just having a cigar or a cognac together.
Or a Farmer John's Dodger dog.
100%. The Dodger dog must be included. So fell in love with Vin Scully and then fell in love with the team. And then, you know, that's it. I switched jerseys and I can't go back now. So I go to Braves games in Atlanta when the Dodgers are in town.
Yep.
So I take my father. I'll be dressed head to toe in Dodgers gear, full blue. Dad's very, you know, understated elegance. He'll have a little lapel pin with like the Braves name. About third inning, he'll stand up and start yelling, "My son moved out to California, and now he's a traitor." And I'll get the beer and the popcoron thrown at me. But you know what? It is what it is.
I didn't know things were so harsh at Truist Park.
I mean, you know,
it
can get ugly. But hey, once I bleed blue now, and there's no way to go back. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure. So 17. So I did. Was that did you hit the wave of Fernando Mania back then, or was that
no?
A little?
Come after Fernando Mania.
Okay, I mean, so more Hershiser, Gibson, '88 World Series.
Yeah,
those were good years.
Sure.
Yeah,
but it's, you know, the really even the post Lasorda era. I mean, and you know, we weren't a great team in the early 2000s.
No.
But you know, I mean, I remember when Kershaw was a rookie. You know, that's last 13 years ago. I watched him come out, and we were like, you know, is this kid really like anything? And you'd see that 12-6 curve.
Public
drop.
enemy #1, man.
I mean, it's amazing.
Oh yeah.
And I thought like this guy is going to be a hero, and then. Sure, now he's got 2 rings, which I think he deserves, you know, probably 5 with the career he's put together.
If he threw a little better in the postseason, sure.
Well, come on, we have to go there.
He's getting hurt in his old age.
The Cardinals are the problem there.
I'm a big fan of Kershaw. I'm friends with Hunter Pence. So after I met him, I was like, hey, man, so Kershaw, what was it like, man? I was like, he was tough, but I hit a home run off of him once. I'm like, okay, cool. So,
well, the lineup now, I mean, Ohtani, right?
It's
Betts,
ridiculous.
Freeman and Teoscar Hernandez. Is that top 4?
It's a murderer's row, man.
Scary. And then forget about the pitching we assembled this year. So yeah,
they're all.
I can't wait to see Snell pitch. Snellzilla, baby, all day long.
Yeah, if they could give away 5 Cy Young Award winners in 1 year, that would be the starting. The starting.
Any guys going? If you ever want to do a baseball podcast, please invite me. I can talk for 3 hours straight, no problem at all.
Yeah. Favorite baseball movie?
Oh wow,
that's a good question.
Yeah, that really
mine's
is.
tough. I probably got to go with The Natural for sure.
That's
Natural.
Yeah. God, I mean, you know, Major League because of the nostalgia and the silliness of it. The Natural for sure. I mean, A League of Their Own also huge, right? Yeah. And then you know, if you build it, they will come. Right? I mean,
and which is the theme of film in the studio, film in New Jersey, my friend. If you build it, they will film.
They will film.
If you put that on a T-shirt.
There you go.
You can have that one. I'll give that one.
Thank you. With the big Dodgers logo right in the middle.
It's interchangeable, but on your version, big Dodgers logo.
Yeah.
Thanks for sitting down with us, my friend. I'm glad you were able to come down and experience a full weekend here. It's truly a magical film festival. And
maybe you'll see him in Atlanta.
There you go.
Oh, you'll see
Come
me.
on by.
You'll know where to find me
I
if
know
I'm
exactly
in
where to
Atlanta.
find you.
It's not that
Frighteningly.
hard. Yeah, for sure. But I'll see you at the awards dinner tonight.
Okay.
Congrats on getting the honorary chair.
Yep.
It's well deserved for
Thank
sure.
you guys for inviting me.
And we hope to see you up here many more times.
Absolutely.
And very excited for the future.
Yeah.
Assembly Studios. Of you, a film in New Jersey.
Film in New Jersey, absolutely.
And, we're really excited to have you up here. So thanks for sitting down with us.
You got it.
Sure.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. GSFF.org. We're not done yet. We got films rolling all day. You got plenty of time to get down here, watch a couple film blocks, watch some great films, meet some great people, some great people doing great things for film here in New Jersey. And come on down, GSFF.org for info. We're streaming all day. Thanks for watching. We'll be back.
You'll be right back.
We'll see you soon. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.